actually say when chasing a hyena or chasing a hyena, you know a hyena very well. Reserve other energies in case it turns on you. Don't deploy all the energies to chase a hyena. And indeed, this is a message to those in governance in Uganda. You are pushing Ugandans too much on the world. Remember, Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear that power belongs to the people, and the people can use any means when they're pushed to the wall to rescue their country. You have closed all the windows of power. You have closed all the ventilations of power, and therefore the doors are getting closed. How will you get out? You are causing it very hard for anything called democracy to exist. You are making it impossible for opposition to mobilize, organize, and campaign for election with the so-called scientific election that is muzzling the entire essence of the tenets of democracy. This must be revisited and rethought by the state and the power that be. By the way, the sun that rises up falls down. It becomes night. The next morning, we see the sun again. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the cat and mouse game between the state, the militia, the police, and the Honorable Bobi, the leader of People Power Movement. We have known any opposition leader who comes in with the pressure to undo the 35 years regime is properly mishandled and coerced. We have seen Dr. Besigye get his fair share of violence and torture, such that he has become part of the Guinness Book of Record. He has broken the record, by the way, of the most tortured man on earth and arrested 100+ times without any charge or conviction. When I saw Honorable Bobi being pulled away from radio station, when I saw Dr. Ruth Acheng freely campaigning in Lira district without respect or with disregard of the social distance of the wearing of mask requirement by the Ministry of Health, the very ministry she hates, the Dr. Fauci of Uganda, being protected by the police and violating the laws set or decrees set by the president of wearing masks, social distance, and scientific election. They are now doing real election, real campaign without masks, but the police are busy protecting them and violating the rules with them. And yet, the irony and the paradox is that when you juxtapose this with the opposition, is that mere radio station talk can cause hell and can break hell loose. I saw how they were manhandling Honorable Bobi out of radio station, how they stopped Besigye from going to Jinja, how opposition are being coerced, tortured, and harassed. And yet, the state has come with a roadmap through its electoral commission, who is mandated under Article 62 of the Constitution to conduct regular, free, and fair election. Unfortunately, this year's election is called scientific. Scientific as in the phrase to muzzle all the tenets of democracy, because a candidate must go and present his manifesto to the masses, and the masses see who is who to give their mandate to such a person. And opposition is the alternative government, and therefore they should sell their alternative policies to the people so that they can vote them. Unfortunately, in Uganda, we have what we call pseudo-democracy. We do regular election, we elect one person. By the way, everything changes from torture, violence, rigging, vote bribery. Those are changes we have been seeing. But the candidate and the president do not change for the past 3 decades, coming to 4 decades. We have only one president, General Museveni. And why can't we declare that in Uganda we shall have only one president called General Museveni? And therefore we don't waste billions of shillings for elections. And this by-election, by the way, will be challenged in courts of law because it is scientific. It's never supported by the laws of Uganda. I know they may go and adulterate the laws we have, but this is not enough. Uganda needs peace and tranquility, development. We need to go to middle-income country like Tanzania, that has been declared by World Bank and others in the world as a middle status country, middle income. But Uganda is still a dwarf in terms of political economy. So I think it's high time. You know, too much appetite for meat is never good. Too much appetite for power is never good. Too much appetite for money is terrible. Uganda has had its big share of ethnic violent conflicts. Tribalism, ethnicity is too much. We need patriotism. We need the president to rethink his strategies and ideas to bring together the nation so that we plan as a country for a better Uganda. Otherwise, at the moment, we are seated on a time bomb. How do you expect people to believe in an election where the opposition are beaten up and never given a chance to consult, yet they follow all the rules? They put the mask, everybody put the mask, social distance, you disperse their rallies, you kick them out of radio stations, and yet you expect it to be scientific election. Yet you own the radio station, sincerely. Like competing with me, you give me a suit to jump in water to compete with you with a swimsuit. This is terrible. Please, wake up from your slumber nightmare. Uganda deserves better. It pains me a lot, but Mr. President, this message is to you. Uganda loves you. Uganda believes you have done a lot, you have done your best, and you have done your worst, and Uganda demands better and deserves better. The key to doom and prosperity resides in your hands. May God bless you, and may God bless Uganda, for God and my country.